If you're going to live from your own heart for the rest of your life, there comes a crucial moment when you realize you betrayed yourself. You didn't betray those you're disappointing or those you're not doing what they think you should do, want you to do, but you're betraying yourself. Now, let me say that we probably at that point don't know what we don't know. I know that was the case for me, but I knew the moment I stood in that auditorium with my father that this was going to change my life. And every decision I made from that point forward did, consciously and unconsciously, changed my life. So I betrayed myself. Now, I didn't really know what that looked like, but I betrayed myself. You ever feel that way? I know you do. Because when you don't live from your own heart and you live from a life laid out for you by someone else, then there's a point where you go, I don't want to do this anymore. Well, we're into episode 5. This is Les Paul Klein, and I'm bringing to you Live from Your Own Heart. And I'm weaving the stories of how I learned this from my own experience, my own life. I hope that if you've not listened to the first 4 episodes, that you'd go back to the beginning, because as I weave my world of learning how to live from my own heart, there's crucial steps in every episode that can be of great value to you to change your life, change the way you're living. I will say this, that my parents, and they're the hinge of this whole process for me, they never got it. Never. My dad had a stroke some years later and really lost his ability to think and communicate. My mother had been lost in my dad for her entire life. And I'll say more about that as we move forward in my episodes, but I'll just say this, that my mother had her own live from your own heart moment sometime after my father was dead. And it was good for her. It really was good for her. Now, let me say this. The hardest part isn't regret. No, it's grieving how long you ignored your own voice. And it comes in a lot of forms. As you know, grief comes and goes and comes and goes and comes and goes. And when it's going on in this space, you don't really know that's what's going on. But you know something's not right. And you know that you're just, your best word I could put to it is you're in turmoil internally. You look good outside, but inside you're churning. You're just yucky. Yeah, it's kind of the way it works. It's kind of the way it happens. So, here are some of the ways. Let me just throw these at you so you'll have a framework. Here's some of the ways we betray ourselves. Yeah. We say yes when we should have said no. Yeah. And at the moment that it happens, we don't realize it. But after reflection, we do. Here's another one. We don't speak up. We just stay silent and live with it. Boy, I did that for a long time. Here's a biggie. We avoid the truth. The truth might upset someone. It might uh, really, really make a mess. So let's just live outside of that truth for now. Yeah. And here's the last one, and I think this is probably the biggest thing that we experience when we just betray ourselves, and that's abandoning our own desires. Mm, that's probably the biggest. I gave up way too soon for what I really want. Someone asked me, "So, Les Paul, what was it that you really wanted to do? What was it?" Well, it wasn't anything big. No. I grew up in this little ranching community that had my heart and soul, and I wanted to be a cowboy. I wanted my own ranch. I wanted to climb on one of my great quarter horses every day. I wanted to live up on that hill and overlook the land. I didn't mind the hard work. I had no dreams or aspirations for making millions of dollars. I just wanted to be a cowboy. I know. Well, Paul, there's a lot of people that wanted to be a cowboy. That's the American dream when you were young. Yeah, well, I lived right in the middle of it. I got a taste of it growing up. Yeah, I abandoned my own desires. And by the time I got back to my own desires, there were so many obstacles and so much time had passed. It was hard to reframe it. It was hard to go back and recover 30 years of youth. Yeah, that was the struggle. I'll talk more about that as we go forward. Let me say this. Over time, your betrayal, it builds. You say yes when you meant no, and you just keep doing that. There's this internal combustion churning in your gut, and it builds. And emotionally, you don't know it, but you shut down. And there will be a point when it finally blows up. And when that does, your heart is going to demand honesty. You can't live with it any longer. My life came to that point. Couldn't live with it any longer. Yeah. I didn't know how to get where I wanted to go, as I just said, but I knew I didn't want what I had anymore. Now, let me say this in a lesson learned by me. Don't go destroy people in your world, especially your immediate family. Don't go blow them up, but invite them to go with you on the journey as you shift. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't invite my wife on the journey or my children. And that created some brokenness, some of which will never be healed, and some of which has left deep scars and lasting impressions. Yeah. So if there's a lesson here for you, invite those people closest to you that will love you and support you. Invite them on your new journey. Yeah. Because there's going to be a breaking point when you go, I can't do this anymore. I have denied my own desires long enough. Just pausing to think about it all. Huh. Yeah. Let me lay this in front of you as you pause and you just listen to your own heart. And that's a lot of what learning how to live from your own heart is all about, pausing to listen. You can't betray yourself until you know yourself. And once you have awakened to who you really are, that's when every choice will matter. Yeah, yeah. My pause is regret. Yeah, it is. Don't make the same mistake I did. When you have recovered your heart's desires, make sure you've not brought along regret because sometimes you can't undo it. Yeah, sometimes you just have to accept it. That's what happened and make the best of the rest going forward. So, how are you going to fix the relationship with yourself? There's three things that I want to put in front of you. Now, I don't use a lot of notes or thoughts, but I had put a few things down, and I have to be really honest. I recorded this three other times and trashed them, but this is the one you need to hear. Three things. If you're going to repair the relationship with your own heart and begin to live there, okay? Admit the truth to yourself. Admit the truth. You've absolutely abandoned your own heart and desires. You betrayed yourself. Admit that. Okay. That's number one. Number two, this is the hinge. Okay. If you're on a video and you say this is the hinge, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. That's one of the hardest things to do. Do you forget? No, you don't. Forgiveness and forgetting. Okay. You can forgive and not forget. I forgave myself. I don't forget what I did. Yeah. And I would really like to tell you that you'll not regret some things. I hope that's the case for you. Not the case for me. I still have regret, as I've said that several times now. But here's the last thing that you're going to have to do to make this relationship with your own heart good. Okay. Here it is. when your heart is finally speaking, make a choice that is aligning with what your heart says. Go forward with what your heart is saying to you. Go forward. I don't know what that might look like for you. I know for me, it meant I wasn't going to be a pastor of a church anymore. Okay. And it took a long time to get to that place. From that place, standing in that auditorium under construction until I was at that place 5 or 6 years. Yeah. And a lot of stuff. You don't have to live in this betrayal of your own heart the rest of your life. You don't. Now, does this take work? Yes. Do you need help? Probably so. I did. I did. If you go to the show notes, there's a link to my website. It's not the kind of website you think. Okay. Coaching Heart Living. If you'll click the link and register, I'm going to walk you through some thoughts, give you an opportunity to reach out to me. We can have a conversation. And at that point, we can make a decision on whether or not you want to hire me as your coach to help you walk through this process. Up to you. But you may need some help to go through this. I'm here. I hope today's episode said something that will help you move forward and forgive yourself. Take care. I'll see you on the next episode of Live from Your Heart.